welcome to another episode of The Hollywood Knitter. My name is Allison and I will be your host today. I am recording episode 64 on Sunday, October 3rd, 2021. It has been about 2 months. 2 months since my last podcast, so hopefully everyone is doing well. Fall has officially started, though it does not feel like it here. It is 90 plus out today. Very warm, though cool temperatures hopefully are coming. Though, as someone pointed out to me this week, Southern California, LA has 2 seasons, hot and not so hot. So it's kind of true. We do typically get these super hot temperatures in September into October, but cooler temperatures will mean, highs in the 60s, which will be awesome if they get there. But we probably have a few more weeks. October can be kind of warm. And November, December is when it starts to really get cooler. And then maybe we'll get some rain, which we desperately need. We'll see. Anyways, it's been a while. Life's been busy. Stuff's been happening, what typically happens. But I thought I had another basket full of things to share with you. So I thought I would get going, of which my first FO is what I'm wearing today, which I literally just pulled from outside. That's one good thing about 90-degree temperatures. I finished this dividing tee yesterday and set it to black last night, and then when I got up this morning I put it outside because I knew it would be warm, and it did hold a lot of water, and it took a few hours, and it's mostly dry. I think I have a damp spot right here, and that's about it. But I wanted to finish it up so that I could wear it today. So this is, let me get my notes, the Divining Tee by Verena Kors. It's a paid pattern, and I started at August 6th, and just was said finish it last night. And this is Noro Kaibu, and I had just started it from the last one. In fact, I had discovered while I was recording the podcast that I was not going to have enough yarn because the put up in Ravelry, which was based on US, UK sold units, was 100 grams. But I had originally purchased some of the yarn in Japan where it's 50 grams. And I just totally didn't catch that. So I totally thought I had more yarn than I did. And I was debating on what to do. Oh, the yarn is Noro Kibu. Noro Kibu, which is a cotton wool silk blend. Typical Noro yarn. And I'm going to stand up for a second so you can see it because I do love it. And it is just a very simple split hem, and it goes into lots of colors, and then it has a cool kind of garter stitch detail that has kind of lines that you change. It's kind of hard to see in there, but it does this great garter stitch. I did modify, well, let's talk about the yarn. So I figured I didn't have enough. And of course the yarn is discontinued. Of course. So after going back and forth, I really liked the hem that I had started. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy yarn. It's Noro. So I could stripe, and it's gonna be this great multicolored thing anyways. So I went online. First I tried to find the actual color I had, which was color 20 or something. And I couldn't find it. Did contact someone who had a ball of it in stash. So the balls are typically 100 grams. I had 150 grams. I needed probably 350 grams. So I needed 2 of the balls. I found somebody who had it, messaged them, but didn't hear back from them. So what I did is I went online and found a store that still had some of this yarn and bought a different colorway. So I think it was Michigan Yarns. I went to online and bought 2 balls in a different colorway. So I think it was colorway 10 or something that had some of the same colors of the colorway I had. So I thought it would blend, and then with my idea that I would, alternate, which is what I was gonna have to do anyways. And then later on, the person who I had messaged on Ravelry, because not everyone goes on Ravelry as often, so it took a week or 2. Also contacted me and asked if I still wanted it, and I said yes. Let me just be super safe now. And so then I ended up having 450 grams, more than enough. Ended up using, so with this I used 3.6 6 of the skeins. So I was right about 3.5, needing, 350 grams being roughly what I needed. That's 1,000 yards. That is because mine is longer than the pattern. The pattern kind of is more of a crop t-shirt, and I did not want a crop, so I wanted it longer. And then just, all of this. But I really, really, really love how it comes out. It's probably looks kind of weird on here, but I alternated down below. I actually alternated every other row. And where's my, here, I'm gonna show my inside here. You can see the line of every other row. And then as I got to where the garter stitch, which I altered the garter stitch kind of pattern. So I basically did 2 rows of, knit, 2 rows of purl. So I would have 2 ridges of purl and then 2 stockinette, 2 ridges of purl, that kind of thing. The other thing is this was a 2-piece, this was all in pieces, the original pattern, and I didn't really want to do it all in pieces. So what I did is I cast on in the bottom. The pieces were done from the bottom up, so I just cast on both in the bottom and did it in the round until the underarms, and then I did the shaping back and forth on the front. So I worked back and forth here, and then because it was worked in pieces all the way, and then the pattern had originally called for a 3 needle bind off for the shoulders anyways. So the only part I had to seam was just a little bit right here, and then I decided to keep kind of a little bit of an open edge here. Whew. And it is warm. I will give it that. It is definitely a kind of good winter t-shirt. Like, it is a t-shirt, but it is definitely a heavier weight. Now, the yarn says the Kaibu is DK, and I would say that it was like typical Noro. It's thick and thin. There are parts where you can see I have slubs, and then there are parts where it's skinnier. So it all worked out. I did this on US 5s, and even with alternating the colors, I alternated up here even when I split, and then just at the very top I kind of did the same colors or whatever ball I was at. And I really love how it came out. Like, these are my colors. Like, the oranges, I didn't think I would be so much of the blues, but I really kind of like it. And there's black and the red. So one had primarily the blues and kind of the orange, and then the other one had black, red, and orange with some kind of purples. All worked. All blends. Really happy with it. Took about 2 months. As I said, this was one of my Make 9 projects. So I am almost done with my Make 9 projects for the year. I think I have one more, my next sweater that I'm going to do. And then I'll have made all my Make 9. This was my stash. Of course, now I have about 100 grams left. And so in typical fashion, I will figure out something to do with them. So yeah. So I do like the t-shirt. As I said, I did make I like the style, but I did make modifications because that's just what I did in the round, and then some other change, kind of like this garter stitch to make it easier for me to remember where I was. Yeah, love it. T-shirt, garment, gonna wear soon. Might actually wear it to work tomorrow. And what else? What else did I finish? So my continuing hats. I had mentioned that I want to do a hat a month and give all those hats for Christmas. So my August hat was my leftovers from my previous shawl pattern, the Molokai shawl, and this is As the Leaves Fall. And this is done, good. How great did this turn out? Come on. This is the Berry Fun Yarns Nova Sport in Butter and Evergreen, and it's a natural dye that I picked up at Stockinette Zombies. And as you'll see now, my kind of thing is when I finish these larger and I have enough of the leftovers for a hat, I pretty much cast on right away. So that's kind of what I did for this, and I'm not going to put it on, but look at how beautiful that is. I really like it. Hopefully someone in my family will like it. I think it's a great kind of fall hat. Super easy. It was a free pattern. The way that the natural dyeing kind of shows, it just is beautiful. Just great. So, I mean, this took me, I don't know, it took me a few weeks. It is color work. I do have my color work is mostly good. I did have to block it. I do my knitting in the round, so you definitely can see a few spots here where maybe my floats at the top when I was doing the decreases weren't quite loose enough. And so on the hat itself, which I tried to block it out when I did mostly, it almost has like ridges in the yellow where the last bit of leaves, maybe there was a little bit of pulling because of the floats. But I think it's kind of like a feature of the pattern or the finished product, and no one will know that that's really what it is because the majority of the hat on the bottom, it's super flat. My floats were really good. So yeah, really, As the Leaves Fall, free pattern on Ravelry or wherever you get your patterns. It's by Eliza Jarvie. The next hat I finished was my September hat, and I actually cast this on, this was super fast, September 3rd through the 11th, so it took me roughly a week. This was a hat I picked out at the beginning of the year based on yarns I had in my stash, and this is, there you can kind of see, this is the Cable Dad hat by Alexis Winslow. It is a paid pattern. It is, yeah, it's a paid pattern. I like the look of it. I don't mind buying patterns. And it is Plucky Primo worsted and Jack of all trades. And I used most of the skein. I think I used about 0.9 of the skein. And it is just a super stretchy, super soft, super nice hat. I think this will be an awesome guy hat. I bet you my future brother-in-law or my brother grabs this when I send it for Christmas as a hat. Super good, super soft. So yeah, super happy. And then a skein, you know, skein out, which is good. I think so. I am on through all of the September hats. So I have 9 hats, maybe even more. I think I snuck another one in there. Of the hat a month challenge, which I unofficially did, and it's been great. Then I also finished 2 pairs of socks. So I was working on the Mosaic Marble socks by Kirsten Hall. And this is a paid for pattern, and I started this in July and finished it in early September. And look at this. Look at how awesome these socks are. I knit these for the boyfriend, and these were specifically with the idea, we are soccer, well, he more than I, soccer fans, and he has season tickets to the local soccer club. And to me, this totally, these are first the colors, the black and gold are the colors of the LAFC, the Los Angeles Football Club. And don't these just look like little soccer balls? The way the pattern is these are all slip stitch mosaic. Yeah, so it's really, once you get into it and once you understand what it is, it's really not hard at all. There is a chart that you follow for your size stitches for the front and the back. And yeah, I mean, I didn't really have much problems with this at all. I just follow the pattern as is, which is unlike me, but I did. And I did it from the top down, which also I'm almost always a toe up girl, but I just followed the pattern. And these are blocked on the blocker, and I really like them. So the way she actually shows it is you basically choose your main color. And so some people had done it with, you know, I had basically black as the lines in the ball, but you could also have totally flipped it so that the gold was that, and then the black was like the minor color. And in the pattern, some people had done like 1 and 1 so that you would have kind of sibling socks, you know, but they would be different. And I didn't necessarily want to do that. I liked this kind of contrast with the black and the gold and stripes. And he hasn't worn them yet because they are here on my blockers. I probably actually won't put him in his drawer this year. He's got a lot of knit socks. So maybe once I knit him another pair. I've slowed down in making him socks because I started making my brother socks and my mother, and he has a lot, which he wears, absolutely. But this was a cool challenge, and you know, I like to challenge myself sometimes, even with socks. So I have my vanilla, easy, you know, don't have to think about it purse knitting, and then I will throw into these kind of pattern or kind of special socks because I do like making socks a lot. And this was really cool. Would I make them again? Maybe, if it were warranted. Like if this particular style, like I could see this for a basketball fan. You know, these could be soccer balls, these could be baseballs, these could be tennis balls. So if you're looking for that kind of themed sock gift for maybe a sports person in your life, I think it'd be good. You do have to watch out in terms of your gauge, because this kind of knitting, you can see it does pull it in a little bit. So these were actually 78 maybe stitch socks because of that, as opposed to normally I do a 72 for him. So a little bit bigger. And then I also did block them, which I don't always, but I did want to make sure that they would block. It's kind of, it's hard when you want the snug sock, but you also know that the pattern's going to pull in. You don't want to end up having it all just go bad and it all be too snug. So even with, I did try it on when I got to finish the heel to make sure that he would get over his foot. So yeah, so these are the Mosaic Marble Socks by Kirsten Hall. I do recommend them if you're looking for a bit of a challenge and something a little different. The other pair of socks is for my brother. And these are, I'm calling them the Boston socks mainly because of the yarn. So this is the Boston colorway in Cascade Heritage Prints that I picked up. So that's just a 25. And these were my purse knitting, work knitting for, I don't know, I started these in early July and finished them in mid-September. So 2 months or so. And just stockinette, simple sock up. I did do Megan's OMG heel, which I will have to, when I go see them, I think I did a different heel in his other one. I'm trying to figure out which heel works best for him. And I do like to change up heels every so often. And this one is an easy heel to do. And I do like to support Megan. So yeah, so another pair of socks. Christmas socks for him. Or maybe actually we'll give those to us for his birthday. That's all the FOs I have, which is pretty good. 2 pairs of socks, a hat, a garment in 2 months. That's pretty good for me. Now, what do I have playing? So, my new, which I think I had these started last time I saw you, or last podcast, is the umbrella socks. So this is the K Jones from the Bakery Bears, her afterthought heel socks pattern called the umbrella sock. So it has a different toe. It is toe up, which I like. It has this umbrella toe, which I've never really done. And then it's going to be a, as I said, afterthought heel, which I haven't done, but I have marked where these markers here, or where the heel is going to go. And these are going to be for me because I could not do an afterthought heel. I don't know if I've ever done one. So I wouldn't do it for anyone else but me because I have to be able to try it on. So the yarn is some Tangerine Speedo and Marigold Jen, and then this is the Child from Nomadic Yarns, and I had a half ball of it. And yeah, I'm gonna do not shorty socks, but shorter socks. I think I planned on, I think, doing one more stripe repeat before I do the orange at the top, and then doing the afterthought heel. And I have it in my Nomadic Yarns cactus bag, which I love. So right now it's just a stockinette time. So these have transitioned to the purse knitting, and I'm sure I'll have them done by the next time. That usually takes about 2 months once something gets put into my purse, because sometimes you have more time to knit at work than others in terms of meetings. That's the only time I really knit at work. Then I passed on another hat, which I think this is going to be my October hat, maybe. It was intended to be the October hat, but I cast on another one too. And so when I finished for the Mosaic Marble Socks, I had over half a ball each of this yarn. And I forgot to mention this yarn was the Stunning Studios and Smashing Sock and Little Black Dress and Toasted Gold that I picked up at Stitches West the last time I went to Stitches West, which was 2 years ago. So I had picked out a hat, and it is I don't know if I have a picture of it, maybe, the Tesla hat by Kino Knits, and I can't remember where I picked up this pattern, but it is a cool kind of patterned hat, and I've gotten a little bit done. I cast on, so I'm doing this in kind of the contrasting. I had more gold than the black left, so I made gold the primary for this, and then this is what I have. I think I've done one repeat of kind of that pattern. So yeah, it is slow going because it is fingering weight, you know, slip stitch or fingering weight color work. So I might not have it done for October. That's why we'll see. We'll see if I get into it. But it is a well-written pattern. It's got written pattern. It is a paid pattern by Kino Knits. And then it has a chart, cool chart for the hat body. And it's slow going. I haven't worked on it a little bit much. And I have this in my Halloween bag from the Silver Shed Studios, who no longer makes bags. I got this at the summer from Stockin' and Zombies, as they were very generously giving some of their overstock away as they were shutting down their shop. Amy's mom. So, but you know, love me. It is my month, and it is Halloween. It is a Halloween month, so it is all about that. If you didn't know, my birthday is on Halloween, so I'm very fond of Halloween and October. The other projects I'm working on, which I didn't even bring up, as I'm continuing to work on my knitted knockers. I'm still working on it with Patton's Grace. I think I got a few more done since last time. I've actually gotten done with the taupe yarn I had, or taupe kind of cotton, and now I have black and red. I had some Patton's Grace that was given to me, and so I'm making the actual boob with the black, and then the backing kind of that goes against your skin is with red. So it's kind of naughty and nice and plain black with, you know, a little bit of the naughty that only you know. Well, I think you would only know anyways if you're wearing them. And then the last thing I cast on for is a Lowlands, is that right? Lowrider? Oh my gosh. I just cast this on. So, Tin Can Knits, again, going and looking for a project that I could use the leftover balls of my Noro Kaibu. So these are the two big balls, 100 grams, and this is how much I have left. And then I have a 50 gram of this color left, the original from the thing. So I wanted to go ahead and use it up in a hat. So I chose the Tin Can Knits hat, the Lowlands. I think it's Lowlands. Anyways, I'll have a page for it shortly, which is basically a a garter rib cuff that you do separately, graft together, and then pick up around the top and do the top of the hat. So I'm alternating the two colors so you can see how kind of different they are of the two colors. And those went. And this is how much I literally cast this on right before just to get it started. So I fully expect this to probably be my October hat. It will be much faster than my stranded hat. And I might even actually, depending on how much this is, I might do two hats because, as I said, I have another 50 gram ball entirely. And I have this in Kitchen Counter Crafter, Jenny, who no longer makes bags either, but this was the bag I picked up a few years ago. I love it. It's pumpkins. What's not to love? Woo, I am warm in here. That's all I have on the needles. So an upcoming kind of what am I thinking I'm going to knit. So I do have a sweater in the queue for the yarn I picked up at Rhinebeck 2 or 3 years ago. That I think I'm going to start in a few weeks. I don't want to jump right into the garment. I think I want to do some hats for a while. I do have some more hats in my queue with leftover yarns like the ones from the Briefs and Projects, as well as some hats that I picked out at the beginning of the year. So I think I'm going to just take a breath, take a palette cleanser from the big project, and just do, have my socks for my first project, and then just do a bunch of hats at home. Just quick projects, more palette cleanser, get some of those kind of leftovers out. So that's my plan. So I will start another sweater soon, and in the meantime do some hats, which are going to be gifts or charity or something. Maybe one of them will be mine, you never know. I usually do add a hat a year to my personal hat stash, but I don't wear hats as much. So, what else do I have to talk about? I did do a mini, well, I did a mini trip to Santa Cruz. The boyfriend's child is going to school up there. And so this was a trip where he was going to move him in, and I just sort of accompanied to the ride. It's about a 5-hour drive up there. So while he was doing all of those kind of family things, I walked around downtown Santa Cruz. I did go to a yarn store that was down there. I went to the yarn shop in Santa Cruz. And because you're there, and I was, happy to be there, and purchased some yarn just to support, because that's what I do. I just picked up 2 skeins. One was this Malabrigo Machida. Anyways, it's a fingering weight sock yarn, and I just look at these colors. These are so me. The oranges and the dark greens and the fall kind of, it's just me. I'd seen this color before and resisted, and this time I didn't. So it's going in the stash for me, which is fine. And then the other one was a local dyer, natural dyer from Santa Cruz called Sunshine Fibers. And I picked up her Aptos DK, and this is 100% Targhee Merino. It's about 250 yards, and I'm planning on doing a hat either this year or next year. It is 100% wool, so I think I'll probably use this for a charity hat or 2. I might get 2 out of it, depending on the pattern. And it's just great blue. So yeah, they were a very friendly shop, very, which is nice. And chatted and was hung out in there. And then, as I said, I walked around, I got lunch, and then I went to the pier, just kind of sat at the end and watched the ocean and knit for a few hours. And then, then hung out. It was a pretty quick trip. We did drive back on the one all the way down the coast, which is a beautiful drive. It takes, so we got up there in about 5 hours because we took the not so scenic route up the 5 and then over. And then when we came back and we took the one, our drive was about 9 hours. So it is significantly longer, but it is so beautiful. That part of the coast is just beautiful. Anyways, that was done. What else? My poor kitty, she, unfortunately we had to say goodbye to her in mid-August. I had mentioned that she was getting old, and she was definitely starting to go on to her last phase, and then in a short amount of time she went downhill very quickly. And when we took her in, it was time to make the decision. So I miss her, my Cloudy, but it was time. She lived a long life. She was 17, almost 18, and yeah, she was with me. I was trying to think of how long she was with me. Like, she's been with me multiple houses and moves and multiple gentlemen I've dated. Like, yeah. So I do miss her. The house is quiet. We are taking a break from any other animals. I do definitely want another pet, either cats or dogs, but it is, at least it was a lot towards that she was getting in. Like, you had to plan a lot more around her, what she could and couldn't do. We couldn't leave her anymore, have a service, or put her in anything. So right now we're just taking a break from ownership and remembering her, but it was sad. I was sad. But as not part of that, but in that time frame, I've been sort of shopping. One of the things I picked up was, as anyone who follows Hugh Loco knows, a few months ago she had a close friend unexpectedly pass. Very tragically, had a very young family, and as part of that she did a fundraiser for yarn, and donated the proceeds to the family. So I had to get behind that. It was a surprise colorway to everybody, and I picked up and bought the merino sock set that she did, and I love it. This is Laurel in honor of her friend, and this was the sock set. So it came with this orangey and kind of this taupe, and then this is the colorway, and it is gorgeous. It is gorgeous. So it took a few months to get, which I totally understand. She did really well in selling this, and that's awesome that we were able to support a grieving family that way, and that we got this beautiful, beautiful yarn. So I got that. And then also in honor of my birthday, I'd mentioned before that I had gone a little crazy over the summer for Advents. I have 2 Christmas Advents coming to me. But I also bought from a New to Me dyer a Halloween Advent. And it came, and I haven't opened it, but this is from Lantern Light Yarn on Etsy. And she had a lot of great reviews. And when I was looking for a kind of Halloween, where I was looking at Advents and I saw a Halloween Advent. And I'm like, well, this is my birthday. I should totally get one. So it is a 13-day yarn Advent with 20 gram minis. And this was totally reasonable. It's like $65, which, and then this is what I got. So they got a brown bag, came, and then they are all in here and numbered, these little mini skein sets. So in mid-October, I will start to open these daily leading up to my birthday. So super excited. I'll let you guys know what they look like. I've never ordered from this particular dyer before, so I have no idea what kind of, if they are really Halloween themed, or if they're just, that is a color theme, or if they're just, yeah, I'm just going to be totally surprised. And then the other thing I bought for my birthday last month was Hugh Loco, if you don't know, does a themed birthday set where she has a new kind of set of 10 color minis, or however you buy them, that are inspired by the particular gemstone for each month, your birthstone. And when she puts them up a month before, they have limited time for pre-orders, and then that's it. So when I saw the opal go up, which is for October, and I love the colors, I've been thinking, I was like, if I like that, I am buying it. And I totally did. And so I ended up picking up, because she has lots of bases and stuff you can choose in, and I got the single sock set in the 50 gram minis. And the idea is this will probably be a sweater of some type for me at some point. I haven't figured out what, so it's probably going to marinate because it's just so beautiful in my stash for a while. But look, so these are the 8 color minis that are inspired by the opal, which I love opals, obviously. I mean, it is my birthstone, but I think it's a beautiful stone. With the reds and the greens and the different colors and the gray. And then she includes 2 solid from her mini set. So these are the 2 grays that she did. So that there's the 8 variegated and the 2 grays. And if I want to do a sweater, which I made later, I might pick one of these grays to be kind of the thing. But I just want to look at them. They're just beautiful. Look at that. So happy birthday to me. Yeah. So that's all of my stash enhancement. As I said, I'll show you the minis as I go. I have 2 Christmas Advents coming too at some point. But yeah, I've been happy. I haven't been doing crazy. I'm not, for my travel this year, I'm not going to Rhinebeck, sadly. I thought I was going to get out there, and then just time-wise and what was going on in work and everything, I instead will be going out to spend a week with my family for Thanksgiving, which is good. It's been quite a few years since I've been home for Thanksgiving. So I'll be spending a week there, and my brother's birthday is usually right around Thanksgiving. You know, sometimes it is on Thanksgiving, sometimes it's not, depending on what day Thanksgiving is. So that's where I think I'll give him a pair of socks for his birthday. And then only other trips coming, I'm hoping my niece and my mom will come out in February during her February break, school break, because she hasn't come out. She wasn't able to come out this year or last year to visit me like she traditionally does. And then I will be attending Stitches West. I have got the room, though I'm still looking at classes. We'll see about that. But I'm definitely going to go up to, they're having it in Sacramento for the first time. And so I'll be going up there to see some friends, hang out. I'm not sure exactly how long I'm going for. But as I said, I booked the room, which is usually the hardest part of the conference. And then I think I'm going to go to Maryland Sheep and Wool. It's still way out there. Oh, and I am going to go to the Stockinette Zombies again. That registration was last weekend, and I did get in. So I'll be going to that. No international or big trips planned yet. It's just still... It's still crazy. I know some people are doing it it's a combo that the world is still crazy and I am crazy busy at work. So the job itself, like to go for 2 or 3 weeks and travel, which is what I would prefer to do, that would be a long time. Not that they would say no to me, they wouldn't, but it would still just mean a lot of work waiting for me when I got back. So that's a combo of that. So I'm going to keep the trips a little shorter. This month also, my girlfriend is coming out. Traditionally, our birthdays are 2 weeks apart. And so we used to do girl trips in between with girlfriends, but then people have kids and things and it's harder. But she has gotten tickets to Hamilton. So she's flying out from Ohio and we will be going to see Hamilton. She'll be spending the weekend in LA and then she'll be flying back. So that will be good. The other thing is my sister is also getting married next summer, which she reminded me. It got postponed for COVID probably. I can't remember. Anyways, so that's next summer too. So I am having some plans, but they're all tending to be of the domestic variety for the moment. I've been reading and watching and just watching some stuff on, all of the major networks that we have. One of the things I did just watch the Squid Game this past weekend on Netflix, and that is a kind of, it's like a Korean Hunger Games to an extent, where down in luck and people who are in debt are brought to this place to play life or death games for money. And it was very well, it's done. The story is not new, but it is definitely visually very striking. And we tend to watch a lot of international shows here anyways. So I've watched quite a few Korean shows as well as Japanese shows, and it has an aesthetic to it. They're very, cinematography in those tends to be very, very good. They are, beautiful. So if you're in that kind of darkness, because it's a little dark then, but it's well done. I recommend that. I also watched another weird one on Netflix that was Brand New Cherry Flavor. It's sort of horror-esque, kind of weird, but it is got some serious weird gross out stuff. But if you're looking for something weird and odd and based in LA, which I like, I might recommend check the preview out. The preview gives a lot. If you can't get through the preview, don't watch the show, because there's some weirdness, but it was well acted, well written. I actually enjoyed the story. It was just, odd, which I like. Yeah, those are kind of the two ones that stick in my head. I've been watching, other, I think I watched the last season of Atypical. I've got a lot of new seasons of different shows to watch on Netflix. I've been watching Acorn. I've been watching Law & Order UK on Acorn. That's been my put in the background, just don't, because you just pop into that show. There's no continuation. It's well done. I'm on season 2, I think. Books, I've been reading a lot. Still up and reading. Oh, I got some weird light. I apologize. The sun's moved. Anyways, it is what it is. I'm almost there. So I'm up to a total read this year of 118 books. My goal is 125, so I think with 3 months left, I am definitely going to surpass that goal. Since I last podcast, which is about 2 months ago, I've read 24. Continuing to read my sci-fi kind of fantasy series, same series, like Faith Hunter series. I'm up to book 11. And there's 2 more in the series. I started some new kind of paranormal magical series. R.J. Blaine has one. I think I'm into book 3 of hers. And those ones, well, not the Faith Hunter, that takes a little while. It's a very in-depth, emotional book. But the other ones are kind of, not fluffy, but I usually read them in a day or two. They're palate cleansing reading. They're funny. They usually have some type of romance element with paranormal, and I like that. Yeah, so I've been reading a lot of those, kind of just continuing the series, the Anita Blake series, the Christine Thean Dark series, which I've been reading forever. I'm on book 34 of that one. I think she's been writing it for 20 years. I picked back up the Linda Castillo Kate Burkholder series, which is a series about a detective or chief of police who lives in Amish country of Ohio, and there are murder mysteries And then I just started reading. I picked up a short story book with one of the authors I like, and as a result of that, there were some other stories in there that I liked. So I started reading the Devin Monk Ordinary Magic series because there was a short novella in that anthology that I liked the characters. So I'm going back and reading her series. Yeah, and then just keeping up on podcasts and everything. I'm still kind of homebody-ish. I did have some visits. A friend from college came, was in town for some training for work, so I got to meet up with him and his partner and have dinner with another friend from college. So that was always fun. I hadn't seen him in a few years. And just some other friends, but still pretty homebody-ish. As I said, work is crazy busy. Crazy busy. We're in the thick of construction and all of the challenges that are associated with that, and so they're working 10-hour days and Saturdays, so that means my guys are working that, and that means I get more calls after I get off. I pick up phone calls after work and in the Saturdays, and things happen, so that's okay. It's only for a few more years. This is cyclical. Once you're on a project, it gets busy, and as we get towards the end, it will taper down, and then I'll have a little bit of a I typically have a little bit of a slow time before my next project ramps up. So it is what it is, and it's a big project, high profile, so and challenging and interesting most days. I have been getting a little burned out. That's why I'm going to try to take a few more time off. I think also I'm going to do a weekend away for my birthday. So Halloween is on a Sunday this year, and I think I'm going to try to see if we can go down to San Diego or something for Saturday, Sunday, and come back on Monday. Just a quick 2-day trip. I really like that for Santa Cruz. I think that was just a good to get away from it for a day or two. Not enough that I had a bunch of work waiting for me, but enough that mentally I was away from home, away just in a new place, in a new atmosphere. Everything isn't 100% yet. You still feel, but we're getting there. So yeah, that's what's been going on with me. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope fall is falling for other places. Not here you can see the sun beating down, the super, super hot sun. It is a sports day here as a Sunday, so I think that there's football, there was soccer, there might have been car racing this morning, I'm not sure. I didn't get up that early. But yeah, so we're gonna go watch some of that and just go chill. Just can't believe it's already October. 2021 is almost done. It is crazy. Anyways, if you're looking to find me, I'm Allison1031 on Instagram. Though I haven't Instagrammed in forever. I check every ones that I follow, but I haven't felt the urge to put myself there in a while. I just haven't been doing too much, going anywhere. I don't know. I think it's, social media comes and goes, and right now I'm not feeling the urge to put a lot there on social media, with the exception of this podcast that I do every 2 to 3 months. Mainly so I can say hi to everybody. Let you know I'm still here, still alive, so that when I do get to see you guys again, it wouldn't have been like you hadn't seen my face in forever. Yeah, that's what's going on. Allison1031 on Instagram or Ravelry. I do still use Ravelry. I know they've made some improvements. I know some people choose not to. I still do. Yeah, that's it. That's a wrap from Hollywood, where fantasy meets fiber and dreams are knit. This light is making me want to vamp or something. Anyways, bye everybody.